Hey guys, hope you're doing well. If you're thinking about applying for a PNP program, if your CRS score is low, or if you're ineligible for the Express Entry Program, then you must be wondering if you can move out of the province that gives you your PNP nomination to another province of your choice that has better jobs or more opportunities for you and your family. And if so, after how long can you actually move out of the nominating province? You'll have to be really careful about this because if you make any silly mistakes or act too hastily, your PR status can be revoked, you can be deported, and you can even be inadmissible to enter Canada for another 5 years, which means you won't be able to apply for another immigration program or even enter Canada on a visitor visa for another 5 years. You don't have to worry though, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about your mobility rights and obligations in Canada as a new permanent resident in this video, even if you receive your PR through a PNP program. Receiving your Canadian permanent resident status is an accomplishment in itself, and it does take time, commitment, and a lot of financial resources. However, many PR applicants spend too much time on learning how to get it and don't spend enough time thinking about one important point: the mobility rights of permanent residents. Where am I allowed to settle after I get my PR? I already have my PR, so do I have to wait in the province that nominates me? Do I have the right to work in only the province that nominates me? Can I move to another province of my choice? And if so, when can I move to a province of my choice? In this video, I'm going to tell you what happens as you arrive at your port of entry or POE as a new PR holder, what documents you'll have to sign binding you to the province that nominates you, if you can move out of the province that nominates you, and if you can, when you can move out of the nominating province, about your mobility rights as a PR holder, if Quebec is included in the mobility rights of a PR holder, what exactly you should do when you intend to move to another province, and all the documents of intent that you'll need to move out of the province that nominates you. So do watch the video till the end. Hey guys, this is Jason from Dream Canada. If you're new to the channel, I show people how to save their money and immigrate to new countries through my videos without the help of any immigration consultants or agents or lawyers. You can find all process instructions for you to apply on your own through this channel. Subscribe now because all the information provided here is completely free, and I answer all your queries in the comment section and on my social handles on Instagram and Twitter, so don't forget to follow us there as well. Let's start with what happens when you arrive in Canada at your port of entry or POE. You need to remember that you don't actually receive your PR card or document until you land in Canada. The document you'll receive to enter into Canada is a confirmation of permanent residence or your COPR, along with a one-time entry visa which you have to use to enter Canada. Now, having your COPR doesn't mean you're in the clear. Immigration officials can still send you back to your home country without giving you your PR if any of your essential documents are missing or if they find anything untoward with your application. This includes your intention to stay in the province that nominates you for your PR application. You need to understand that you are not a permanent resident until a border immigration officer at a port of entry signs your confirmation of permanent residence or COPR. Until then, you are not protected by the Canadian Charter of Rights, and even if you are, there are a few restrictions on your mobility if you enter Canada through a PNP nomination. How you get your PR affects your ability to move around Canada after you land. If you have been nominated by a province through a PNP program and you arrive at a port of entry or POE, the border immigration officer will ask you where you are going to reside after you exit the airport. If you declare that you will be moving to a province other than the one that nominated you, the immigration officer will most likely refuse to grant you your PR status on the grounds of misrepresentation, because it's clear that you never intended to reside in the province that nominated you and you basically lied on your application. They can also ban you from entering into Canada for the next 5 years for this, even if you wish to enter on a visitor visa. When you get your PR through the Express Entry System, either with the Federal Skilled Worker Program, the Federal Skilled Trades Program, or the Canadian Experience class, without a provincial nomination, you will not have signed any commitment to reside in any province. At the most, you would only declare the city of destination that's printed on your COPR. Through this way, you'll get almost all the rights that a Canadian citizen enjoys. Among these, in Section 6 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms is what is called mobility rights. These stipulate that every citizen of Canada and every person who has the status of a permanent resident of Canada has the right to move and take up residence in any province and to pursue the gaining of a livelihood in any province. This means that you can move to and work in any province of your choice after landing in Canada. You're even allowed to move from your intended city and province of landing as stated in your COPR to another province, including Quebec, even if their immigration system is relatively more independent than other provinces in terms of immigration. This is further confirmed in the Help Center of the IRCC website. Now coming to the important question, can you actually move out of the province that nominates you? When you get your PR status through any PNP program, you'll be made to sign a letter or an undertaking indicating your intent to settle in that particular province that nominates you to contribute to its economy and diversity, since it's the one facilitating your permanent residence in Canada. In some cases, like in New Brunswick, you even have to sign a commitment to reside in the province and register in person in the province within 30 days of landing in Canada. If you don't do so, the province will revoke your PR status by appealing to IRCC, although after several follow-ups with you. The fact of the matter is, one of the main reasons why provinces grant a nomination is for you to reside in the province and contribute to its economic development. It often happens that a province withdraws its provincial nomination before your PR status is granted. This will happen if someone lives in a province either working or studying after receiving a provincial nomination and then moves out of the nominating province before their PR application is processed and PR status is granted. Although your mobility rights are protected after your PR status is granted, there are some limitations to these rights, and one of the most important one is for the provincial nominee programs. But nowhere in the law is there a minimum stay period for which you have to live and work in the nominating province. The law on this point remains ambiguous and open to interpretation, and thus creates a lot of confusion to aspiring immigrants who have no other option but to choose PNP nominations, as their CRS scores may be too low, or they may not be able to score the required 67 human factor eligibility points for the Express Entry Program. You need to be careful when deciding to move out of a province that nominated you after getting your PR status. The province in question can pursue you and even request IRCC to revoke your PR status on the grounds of misrepresentation, reasoning that you had no intention in residing and working in the province. If this request goes through and you are found to have misrepresented your intent, you will be deported and you'll be inadmissible to enter Canada for 5 whole years, even through a visitor visa. However, you can defend yourself in these situations by proving your intent with a few documents which I'll be telling you about later in the video. And also, you won't always be pursued for misrepresentation if you decide to leave the province that nominated you. Usually this happens on a few rare instances that a person doesn't even bother to try and settle in the province that has nominated them after landing in Canada. Now, when can you actually move out of the province that nominates you? When you come to Canada with a PNP nomination, right after your PR status is granted, which happens after your COPR is signed at the port of entry, you should definitely make the effort to go and settle in the province that has nominated you. The question that a lot of immigrants ask themselves is, after they do so, for how long should they actually stay there? There's no definitive answer to this, as there's nothing explicit stated about this in the law. What you have to know is that a province can try and revoke your PR status if they feel that you've misrepresented your intent to stay in the province. This is why it's important to keep in mind that you need to show and document your intent using the documents mentioned in this video. Some people wait as little as 2 months when they receive their PR card and then move to another province. Doing this is not recommended, as obtaining their PR card has nothing to do with obtaining their PR status, as their PR card has been obtained on a conditional basis that they'll be living and working in the province that nominates them to contribute to its economy and diversity. Some others will wait until they fulfill 730 days or 2 years, which is the permanent residence requirement, and as their intent towards the nominating province is firmly proved, the risk of a revoked PR status would seem very low. Either way, a period of stay of 1 to 2 years would seem to be long enough to prove your initial intent to stay in the province. The higher the time period, the better it is for the individual. However, when moving to another province, a few steps are highly recommended, and I'll be letting you know about them next. Now we come to the steps that you should follow if you intend to move to another province from the province that has nominated you. We can categorize this into two situations after you land in Canada using a PNP nomination. One is if you have a job offer from the province that nominates you, and the other instance is if you don't have a job offer. If you get a job offer in the province that nominates you, either from your home country or after you land in Canada, after you've been working in the province for a while and you want to move to another province, you need a good reason to. One could be that you found a better job in another province with a better pay. Another acceptable reason would be that you recently got married and you have to join your partner outside the nominating province. The second instance would be if you can't get a job offer. If you're a newly established provincial nominee that has used their provincial nomination to enter Canada and you're facing difficulties to find a good job related to your primary NOC code in the province that nominates you, you have every right to look for a job offer elsewhere in Canada. However, for how long should you keep looking for a job until moving to another province? Around 3 to 6 months seems to be a fair enough time frame for this, but do keep in mind you will need to document all your activities during that time period when you're searching for your job. You'll need evidence of your job hunting and refusals. These can be documented by your job application emails or documents and the subsequent rejection letters you may receive from these applications. Next, you'll need to prove that you have exhausted all employment resources offered by the province nominating you, and despite that, you couldn't find a job offer. A lot of these provinces offer employment services or resources that one can use as soon as they land in the province to help them get settled in the province. A great example of this would be the settlement services offered by the government of Saskatchewan, which you can use to try and gain employment as soon as you land. For all the time that you'll be residing in the province that nominates you, you'll have to furnish supporting documentation that proves this, like your proof of residence through lease or rent documents for the apartment or residence you'll be living at, as well as your electricity or hydro and water or gas bills. You'll have to prove that you've applied for the provincial healthcare card which you receive from the nominating province as soon as you land, and any other documents that can prove your initial intent to stay in the nominating province. Either way, you should contact your province's immigration authorities and tell them about your intentions to move and your reasons why. You can contact them on their contact resources mentioned on the IRCC website or through contact details shared with you during your PNP nomination. You should do this because they'll know about your move sooner or later, as provinces keep track of their provincial nominees. If they can't offer you services to help you stay, then at least you have proof that you've tried your best and that you made an effort to inform them of your intention to move to another province. Now, can you actually move to Quebec even though Quebec's immigration program is completely different from the rest? Section 6 of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms applies to all provinces, including Quebec. Despite a more independent immigration system than the rest of the provinces because of its advanced autonomy status, Quebec cannot deny access to its territory under Section 6 to permanent residents. Moreover, if you come from another province, it's not mandatory to have a CSQ to apply for the health insurance card or a driver's license or to enroll in a university or post-secondary school. Alright guys, so that was how you could possibly move out of the province that nominates you through a PNP program. For more immigration and travel tips, subscribe to this channel now. Do like this video if you like the content and comment what topic you would like to hear about next. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe for regular updates on immigration and don't forget to follow us on Instagram as well. I wish you the best of luck for your application and hope you have a great day.